In a quiet village, nestled between the green hills of northern India, lived a woman named Meera. She was 36 with lines of quiet sorrow etched on her face, and eyes that had forgotten how to dream. But her heart still beat fiercely with love for her children Anaya and Kabir. Life had never been kind to Meera. 10 years ago, during a violent monsoon storm, Meera's husband, Rehav, left the house after an argument, furious over their growing debts and the weight of responsibilities he never learned to carry. That night, he never returned. Some said he boarded a train to the city to escape it all. Others whispered he had taken his own life near the riverbank. No one knew for sure. What remained was silence, and Meera left to pick up the broken pieces alone. Since then, Meera had worn both the hat of a mother and a father, her dignity stitched into every torn piece of her sari. Each morning, before even the birds dared to sing, Meera would rise, wrap her faded dupatta around her head, and walk into the misty dawn to sweep and scrub floors in the homes of the well-fed and well-dressed. Her hands had grown calloused, her back constantly ached, and her soul was quietly bruised by the cold glances of society. The few rupees she earned barely covered the cost of rice and lentils. Milk was a luxury. New clothes were a fantasy. Anaya and Kabir never once uttered a word of complaint, but Meera saw the unspoken hunger in their eyes and the way they looked longingly at the lunchboxes of other children. At night, when the village lights dimmed and her children slept huddled together, Meera would sit alone in a corner of her mud home. She would stare at the cracks in the wall and whisper, "Why me?" Her tears fell silently like the rain no one notices. The village women often whispered behind her back, "That luck follows her," they said. Their words became shadows that Meera couldn't shake off, and slowly she began to believe them. There were nights she hated her life, not for herself, but for what her children were being denied. One afternoon, Anaya came home from school, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Ma," she cried. "The girls laughed at my torn clothes. They said I looked like a beggar." Meera held her daughter close, whispering, "You're a queen in my eyes, Anaya. Clothes don't define your worth." But inside, her heart broke like a dry twig. That evening, Kabir came to her with a drawing he had made at school. It was a stick-figure family under a bright sun, and in the center was a smiling woman with wild hair and large hands. He had scribbled under it, "My superhero, Ma." Meera's breath caught. She hadn't seen herself through her children's eyes until that moment. They didn't care for silk or silver. They loved her. Her tired hands were heroic to them. That night, something shifted inside her. A flicker of strength, gentle but fierce, lit up her heart. The next morning, Meera woke not with dread, but determination. She said to herself, "No more tears. If I am all they have, then I must be more than I've ever been." She began taking on extra work, mending torn clothes, stitching blouses, even learning to embroider at night. Her fingers bled, but her spirit didn't. With her first little savings, she surprised Anaya with a new blue dress and gave Kabir a second-hand sketchbook. The joy in their eyes was worth more than gold. One day, while collecting payment from a school teacher, Meera caught the attention of Mrs. Duza, a kind-hearted woman who ran a communities group. She told Meera about a small business initiative that helped women learn skills and start local ventures. Meera hesitated. "What can I do?" she asked. Mrs. Duza smiled. "What you've always done. Nurture, create, cook. Why not start with your pickles?" Meera laughed nervously. "Who would buy my pickles? Let the world decide," the teacher said gently. And so, with trembling hands and a hopeful heart, Meera started bottling her homemade mango and chili pickles. Her first jar sold quickly. People loved the Franskweid, bold flavor, just like her resilience. Week by week, order by order, Meera's small business grew. Her income increased. She fixed the roof, bought new notebooks. Her children started doing better in school. Her home, once damp and silent, now echoed with laughter. She no longer hated her life. She had lived it fully with grit, grace, and an unshakable love. Life doesn't always unfold the way we wish. Sometimes it wounds us, breaks us, tests us in silence when no one is watching. But it is in those unseen moments, when we choose to keep going, keep loving, and keep believing that real strength is born. Meera didn't wear armor or hold a sword. She held her family together with nothing but her hands, her courage, and her quiet faith. Don't hate your life because it's hard. Often the hardest lives become the most inspiring stories, not because they were easy, but because someone refused to let the darkness define them. If this story touched your heart, give it a like, share it with your loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe for more heart-touching stories, because every story brings a new light.